Well, as you can tell from that intro, I've had great fun today down here at HeroX using some of Sonic's latest budget-friendly offerings. Every time we do videos on Sonic gear, it seems to go down really well with you guys. So I think that's mainly down to the fact that Sonic has become known as the brand that gives you top quality items, but perhaps not at such a high price tag that you'd expect from maybe some other brands. And that's where the HeroX range comes in. But before we jump onto HeroX, I want to take you back a little bit of time to the Vader X. Now that was the range of gear that was kind of Sonic's lower end budget-wise, but still top quality gear. That's been phased out and the HeroX has now been brought in. So think of this as a new, invigorated, revamped Vader X, but it's under the name of HeroX. And all the kit you're about to see today and the follow is all brand new kit, but it's under that same ethos of budget friendly, but still top quality. Let's get all the specky stuff out of the way, because I have been using these rods and reels today, so I want to talk more of a real world live experience of using them, whether that be playing fish or using the spod and marker rod I've got in front of me. But for those of you that like to know more of the specky details, here you go. Starting with the rods. These are available from as little as a £3 10-foot model, all the way up to a 13-foot 3.5. And of course, you've then got the dedicated spod and marker rod, which I've got in my hands at the moment, all of which have the same things in common. They all feature a slim and lightweight black carbon blank, and that goes down to a slim Japanese shrink wrap butt grip and handle flare. You'll also notice that on the very bottom, you've got a black anodized butt cap laser etched with the S logo. They all feature a super light M Series DL black guides and a hardware and anti-frap ceramic tip ring. Now the 10-foot models start with a 40mm butt ring all the way up, but the 12-foot models and above feature a 50mm ringing pattern. And to finish things off, we've then got a 17mm black DPS reel seat, which will house a whole manner of different reels all the way to big bits. And we've also got a little Sonic line clip just above the reel seat as well, which is really handy to have. Now moving on to the reels, there's 3 different reels available. You've got 2 dedicated carp fishing reels and then a spod and marker. So the ones I'm using today are the HeroX 8000s. If you want something slightly big with a bit more line capacity, you've then got the HeroX 10000s, and then you've got the dedicated HeroX spod and marker reel. So all of these have similarities within them. Obviously this one's going to be more dedicated to casting and retrieve at greater distances. I think it's about 110 centimetres retrieval with the spod and marker, so that does crank in a lot, but a lot of the features are the same, and that starts with the internals. It's actually got a worm shaft gear technology, or worm shaft gearing. Now this is something that's normally reserved for much more higher end reels, and that's basic terms. It's a strong internals, nice and smooth, it's powerful, and when you're using them you can really notice them. And I think I say when I'm talking about these in a second when I'm actually playing fish, I noticed that the SK47 reels I'd done a couple of months ago, I said that those are probably the best reels Sonic have brought out to date for the price tag as well. I'd say these are right up there with them. They are noticeably smoother than previous models that Sonic have brought out. They just feel really nice in the hand. The line retrieval is really nice as well. So there's several different things going into them. You can read up on all the different namings of each of these things, but I'm very much one of those people that like to talk about how they actually perform rather than all the specky things. I know this is meant to be the specky section, but the line lay is really nice as well. So the line lay is good, it retrieves nicely. You've then got a floating line rotor just below, so that minimises the risk of line going up under the reel. And then we move on to the actual clutch on these. So these are set at the moment to a very light clutch, or a loose, so that if I get a take, the line will flow freely. But then there's quite a quick torque drag system on them, so you can turn it just a few clicks and it starts to tighten up. It's not super fast that if just a few clicks it's locked solid. And again, I'll talk through this when I'm actually playing a fish in a second, because I have caught today thankfully. I talk about how fine-tuned the drag is, which is a really nice feature of these. Now as for the looks of everything, it's fairly understated, which seems to be the common trend over the last few years of going very black, minimalistic, and this is following that trend, but there's a few slight differences that make this stand out to other items that are on the market perhaps, and that's because the HeroX branding utilises quite a vibrant green, and there's flashes of that throughout the rods and reels. So if you look at the rod straight away, the butt cap has the green S on it. Just above the reel seat, again, we've got some green whippings, the HeroX logo, another bit of green whipping, then it goes nice matte black all the way up for the rest of the rod. And that continues over to the spod and marker rod, very much the same in its detailing, the green just above the reel seat. And again, quickly check, yes, it's got the S logo, which is green on the butt cap as well. The reels also little bits of green around the very base of the reel and also on the spool. But other than that, there's not too much writing everywhere, it's not too flashy, it's not all in your face, but there's enough there, there's a little nod to the HeroX branding. Now the HeroX range isn't just limited to rods and reels. You may have actually noticed a few other items whilst filming today that are also under the HeroX umbrella, and there's going to be loads more coming. So make sure you're subscribed to us, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, so you'll see loads of that coming your way. So other items that you may have noticed today are the 2-rod pod. There's also a 3-rod pod available in this range. The net I'm using is a 2-piece 6-foot, but there's also a 2-piece 8-foot. And I've also heard, word through the grapevine, and when I say that I mean directly from Sonik, there's a HeroX dedicated alarm system, which is 3 alarms, receiver, and a bivvy light for under £100. So it's not just rods and reels, there's lots more to come. Can you just appreciate that a fly went in my throat at the start of that piece? He's gone, bit of protein. Now the rods that I've been using today are 12-foot 3 1/4, and I've only been fishing at 18 wraps. And it's been a comfortable distance fishing with D-rigs. This is actually on a D-rig. I've now got the left rod out on the zig. And so I fish at a nice comfortable range. But it's more about trying to see where they actually play like, because casting distance is different for every single person that will use a rod. The main thing is, how does it feel when you're actually playing a fish? And at the moment, it's enjoyable. I'm in very shallow water. It's probably 4 foot in places, maybe slightly more, in other places less. So it's a very shallow part of the lake I'm in, and I've been putting bait over the top of it. So the only place these fish can really go at the moment is left, right and away. They can't really go down. And this fish is just plodding along. The average stamping here is probably low double, and sometimes smaller common, sometimes slightly bigger. But at the moment, this is really enjoyable to play fish with. The clutch on the take, as you already just saw, was able to take plenty of line, and there's no sort of quick click on the back or for free spool or anything. It's all a front drag, but it's nice and easy to turn. So if I start turning it now, there we are. It's now a bit too loose for this fight. He's going to start taking away from me. A couple of clicks and that's enough on it now. So if he did start to take, like he just did then, he can. So it's smooth enough that I can adjust that clutch without being too over the top. I think I've gone under my other line. But it's nice that now we start to try and pull. Really smooth clutch ticking away. There he goes again. Feels a good fish, this actually. You watch it pop up and be about £5 now. But there, he's off again. Really smooth clutch as well. It's not suddenly jumping. There we go. He's come out from under the other line now. Tighten it up ever so slightly. Just a couple of clicks. And as you can see, as I go to wind, it's just starting to try and click where the pressure's too much. So if he does take another lunge or another run, I can go nice and smoothly. The actual cranking is really smooth as well. I know I said this in the last video with the SK47 rods and reels, that they were some of the nicest reels I think Sonik have ever made and everything. But I think they're kind of up there, almost done it again with the HeroX, because they're really smooth. And that's thanks to the internals of this are a worm shaft interior, I think it's, or a worm shaft. Now I'm not sure of all the science behind it, but it's basically stronger internals, smoother, so the line lays better as well. And you can tell that straight away. It's not a clunky reel, it's really smooth. This fish is getting quite close in now. Because it's quite shallow, I'm going to have to make my way towards him rather than the other way around. So I'll see you in a second. Hey, he's in. Now when it comes to a dedicated spod and marker rod, it's got some pretty basic tasks over it. I need to do them well. So they need to be built as a bit of a workhorse, something that can repeatedly punch heavy weights, great distances. And that's exactly what this has been doing today. Although I'm not fishing very far, I'm only fishing 18 wraps a day, it's still giving me an idea of the capabilities of this rod. When I first got here, I pinged out a lead, just to have a lead about, so I went quite far, well over 20 odd wraps, just to see what was out there. Brought it back to a bit more of a comfortable distance to be fishing consistently for the day, and I've settled on 18 wraps. So I've done the market about nice and easy at the start, and I'm now punching out a fully loaded spom with all boilies in, some liquid and stuff, so heavy old weights, consistently, easily, hitting the clip every single time and hitting the same spot, or within a few sort of like rod length or so either side, because I'm fishing on a spot with 2 rods, so I'm being deliberately slightly right and left. But if I want to be really accurate, absolutely no problem there. And then retrieval, you've got the dedicated spod and marker reel. So this is a bit more of a chunkier, bigger reel. That worm shaft interior means that the line lay is much better, much like we've seen with the main rods or the carp fishing reels. but just a big chunkier reel that's capable of cranking in bigger weights from bigger distances and doing it without a fuss. Now, I've been talking through this whole video about value for money, so let's actually talk prices. The rods I've been using today and all the other 12-foot models come in at just $54.99, but if you want to go for 10-foot options, they come in under 50 quid at $49.99. Alternatively, if you go for the 13-foot option or the spod and marker rod that you've seen today, that comes in at $59.99. Moving on to the reels, the 8,000 reels I've been using today and the 10,000 reels come in at $59.99. But if you go for the dedicated spod and marker reel, that comes in at $64.99 with a free 200 meters of braid already loaded on the spool. Now, of course, I've shown you some other items in the HeroX range, which we may go into more detail in future videos, and there's lots more still to come. So make sure you subscribe to us, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, because all of that content will be coming your way very, very soon. But if you want more information on what you've seen today, do head over to the Sonik Sports website, check it all out for yourself. Some few more bits of specky talk on there that I may not have gone through today, but I didn't think was particularly relevant. But you may want to see a little bit more about all the stuff you've seen today. But that is everything from me today. So cheers for watching, and I'll see you again soon.